Hello everybody, this is Karama018, and this is going to be my thoughts on Cowboy Bebop episode 23. I know I should have gotten these done, but thank goodness I finally hear back from Travis, and all he says is, don't worry about it. That's it, don't worry about it. After all they put me through worrying about this, that's all he's got to say. I wish he had told me that sooner. Not right after he sent that first text, but maybe a little bit after, asking what's going on. Like, asking where he had heard that. You know, that would have put my mind a lot more at ease. At least, when it comes to him, anyway. Anyway, enough about my problems. Or the issues that I'm dealing with at the moment. It's a bit of a misunderstanding. I'm not going into the details, so, yeah. Anyway, this episode involved a cult, which I found very, very strange, because you would think that, I don't know, it just seemed weird for a cult to be in the show. And apparently it involved digitizing the soul and putting it in the internet so you'd live forever, essentially. And that apparently that's the reason that they did that, because there's no God, that they think, or something. And who are we to say there's no God? Only way we can determine that is if, when we die. That's the only way we can determine if he's actually real or not. And if he is, what the afterlife is like, blah 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 blah, all that stuff. Anyway, we're not going on with a religious... Actually, we kind of are in this episode. I was going to say, we aren't going through a religious philosophy in this one, but yep, we kind of are. But yeah, this reminded me kind of a book I read. It was a kind of a horror story where there was some kind of... I don't remember who the author was. It was either Stephen King, Dean Koontz, or some other author. I don't know. I almost said show. I wasn't going to say the S word. No. Anyway, I don't know who the author was, but I found it in the school library at one point. It involved people turning into monsters that apparently do not have emotions. It's kind of like I wouldn't say a bit of a survival of the fittest thing, where they track down anybody who's weak or couldn't do it and they kill them. And there was also a little bit of a side plot where they technology thing was getting to where you could insert your mind. You could, put your hand, through the screen, essentially, and your hands would go through it, and you become part of the technology. And one of the characters who was a cop found his son like that, and he put him out of his misery by shooting him in the head, and the computer part of him was freaking out on the computer screen, like, what's going on with my body? What's going on? Help, help, or whatever. And he shot the screen, I think, as well. But yeah, I don't know what the name... If anybody knows the name of that book, please tell me, because I'd like to look it up. Because it was pretty freaky. It involved some people trying to, kind of go into... It was kind of like an apocalyptic type thing. At the same time, where, a group of people were trying to get away from all this. One of them was I think old guy in a wheelchair with a dog that's supposed to help him, like a service dog. They were attacked by those people. And I don't exactly know that's all I remember of the book. So, yeah, I don't know who it was, or who wrote it, or anything. I don't even know what the title is. But it's some kind of horror story, is all I know. Anyway, that's what reminded me of this, the whole technology thing. Where apparently you could put your soul in the internet, and you could live forever, even without a body. Now, that would be good in theory, but highly doubt it's going to happen. Anyway, they're trying to find the leader of this cult. And obviously we know it's a cult, because when people tried to investigate some of the people who were involved in it, they committed suicide. So yeah, it's a cult. Anyway, the guy that they think is the leader is freaky. Really creepy. Something about him just freaks me out. Maybe it's partly because the guy just sits there not blinking the entire time, and it just looks creepy that way. I don't know. But we end up finding out that this whole thing, Faye actually tried to infiltrate the cult to try and find the guy, because apparently there's a gigantic bounty on his head. I didn't get how much was it. It was 38 million... I didn't get whatever the currency is in that show. I can't remember how to pronounce it. Anyway, it was really high, and she was about, obviously wanting to get it so she can get the bounty, because that's a ton of money. Anyway, she acted like she was going to join the cult, and she ended up getting knocked out by going into some room with a ton of TVs or something. I don't know how that worked. If anybody could explain to me how they got put to sleep in the first place, I'd really appreciate it because I didn't get it. Anyway, Spike went to find her, and Jet and Ed were trying to find the Landos guy, or Landis guy, whatever the guy's name was. Apparently he was a doctor who was trying to figure this out, and then he suddenly disappeared without a trace, and no one's been able to find him. Apparently, they end up finding the guy, but it's not who they think it is. The character that we see, the one that's just sitting there not blinking, is just a character that was created by the mind of a 13-year-old who had somehow gotten himself on the internet or something, because I'm guessing he was like on life support or something, and because he was like in an accident, or I don't know what kind of accident it was, but apparently it was some kind of accident where I guess they thought he was brain dead or something, so they put him on life support. But apparently he wasn't brain dead. His mind was he uploaded his mind, not his soul, into the internet and was controlling everything from there. And Jet and Ed somehow got into the freaking hospice where he was. I don't know how the heck, what kind of sob story they used where they convinced the guard to let them go by. It was just freaky. It was funny. But yeah, it was apparently a 13-year-old, but it had been like, oh, the doctor thing was actually apparently, wasn't real. All that stuff wasn't real. So it was a 13-year-old who had been in an accident, and they essentially cut off his mind from the internet, so that way he would be back in his body, and maybe he might have, nice dreams, because he kind of got driven a bit crazy, in my opinion. So, yeah. They cut off the connection without cutting off the life support, so now he's just stuck in his body again. But hopefully he ended up recovering from whatever was going on, because I have no idea. But they couldn't even get the bounty, so yeah, they lost that bounty again. But thankfully Spike found Faye and got her out of there. Anyway, if anybody could explain the whole how Faye and the others got knocked out and put to sleep, and apparently, I don't know if some of them actually died from sleeping too much, or from sleeping forever, essentially, because they weren't getting nutrition. If anybody can explain how that happened, but there was like a toxin or something in the air that was causing that, I don't know, because it was happening to Spike right as he was talking to the guy. I have no idea. If anybody could explain it to me, that would be great. If not, then I'll just look it up online. Anyway, that's about all I have to say. Things are good at the moment, as far as I know. I hope. As soon as I see Travis, I'm gonna ask him about all this, because he wouldn't really say anything to me about it. So yeah, as soon as I see him face to face, I'm asking him about it. Just to make sure that things are okay. Because as far as I know, they are. Anyway, that's about all I have to say for this episode. And I will see you all next time when I get the next one up, which I will try and get. I'll try and get 24 and 25 up soon. I'll have to actually compress 25 because I hadn't got that one done yet. And I'll have to edit the last episode because I hadn't worked on it yet. I just hadn't felt like doing anything like that. Anyway, to my new subscribers, I hope you find something on my channel to watch, because ever since I started streaming, how many did I get? I think I was at 380 before I started streaming, doing all the streaming, and I gained 16 subscribers just from streaming Pokemon. It's crazy! I don't even know who most of the people are, because some of them didn't, send a notification as to who subscribed. So, yeah, every time I see someone new on my channel, on my stream when I'm streaming, I assume that they might subscribe, because otherwise I don't know. So yeah, I'm at 396 currently. 4 more, and I'm at 400. I'm 104 subscribers away from being halfway to what I need to be in order to get Super Chat. And I still need to rack up the 4,000 hours for the monetization, but still. Anyway, to my new subscribers, welcome, and I hope you find some content you enjoy, and I will see you all next time.